of progress yesterday.
Oh,
I
nice.
actually made a call to a title company. It wasn't anything crazy, but I spoke to 10 different title companies. I found one title company that's investor friendly. I'm
Good.
gonna start pulling my buyers list and I'm gonna start talking to like buyers. I'm going to use the sheet that Justin sent us on Monday. One of the calls he sent us the buyer sheets, like how to prospect your buyers, what are they looking for. So I'm gonna use that and start talking to buyers.
Oh, we just lost Henry. What's up, Jet?
Hey, what's going on, Mark?
How are you, dude? Good to see you.
I'm, I'm good. I'm good. You
Right
sitting in
on.
Justin's chair today or what?
Well, I usually do the Thursday thing, and then Justin, we had kind of set it up to where he was going to come. We were going to do it together a little bit on Thursdays. Um, he was going to come on. We were going to make some calls and then stuff like that. But he got caught up with something else today he had to do, so he's not going to be here today. So we'll just play around, see what we got. Can talk about stuff and maybe make a few calls and I don't know, see what happens,
I'm,
right?
I'm
Sounds like
back.
a
I'm
plan.
back. Yeah, I'm sorry. So if Mark, if you can give me like any tips and suggestions that you used in the past or you're using currently and that's working when you're talking to buyers, like I'll love to hear it.
Okay. So the buyers are pretty easy, and actually, I could probably call a few buyers today. I have some. So what are you looking to do, Henry? Just like wholesaling type stuff or lease options?
I want to get into some pretty houses stuff, but I also kind of want to do some like sandwich lease options. I'm not gonna lie, Mark. Like I said, I didn't really do a lot. I made 10 phone calls, and those 10 phone calls were just like holy shit, and I only made 10 phone calls and I did
Dude, that's
a
great,
title
man.
company.
10
Yeah,
phone
but
calls is freaking awesome. You
I mean
know?
it was only for a title company, but it was
Uh,
just no, 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 no. So like
yeah.
I'm
So
starting to realize
let
that
me ask you, what are you saying to the title company when you call them?
mm, when I was talking to title companies, I was like, hey, can I speak to a seller, seller's agent? And some of them were like, what's your number? Like, what's your name? Do you have like a title on file with us? And I was like, currently I don't. I'm a real estate investor. And I was just wondering if you do um, lease. I was just wondering if you do lease option agreements. I had the script. I'm sorry. Just one sec. Give me a sec. I have it
Yeah.
right here that I was telling them. I had everything right now. Okay. I need to ask specific questions about a current deal and some upcoming transactions. And I was just wondering if you do double closing or assignment of contract.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would so when I'm calling, actually, if you want, I need to call some. I need to actually call some title companies right now because I have this deal, and usually the title person that I call, she can't do it because she doesn't do that county. So we could call a couple title companies and let's just see how it goes. How about that?
Let's rock and roll. That'll be perfect. Yeah, because how do you get past the gatekeepers? Because the moment they were like, "Do you have like what's your file number? Do you have a title with us?" And I'm just like, "Well, no, I'm looking for a title company." Then it's like, "Okay, what are you looking for?" And then they put me on hold and they go talk to someone. So like,
Well,
talk to the how do I actually talk to the closing agent without
well, here's what I usually do. Um, So what I'll do is I'll just, which I'll do this right now. Um, I'm gonna call this one right now and just to see what happens. Okay.
right?
Thank you for calling Humboldt Land Title. This is Courtney. How may I help you?
Hey, Courtney, how's it going? This is Mark. Hey, I was calling to find out. I'm an investor and I'm doing a whole bunch of deals up that way, and was wondering if you guys do assignments and double closings or
Sorry, did you say assignment?
yeah, like if we get a property under contract and then we want to just
Yeah.
assign it.
And what, okay, if we do assignments, what was your other thing?
Yeah, double closings. I mostly do assignments, not very few double closings, but just
Okay, hold on, please. I can ask
Okay. See, pretty easy, right?
That was happening to me yesterday.
Uh, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of them won't do it. There's only a very few that will.
Mhm.
It's just because they think there's all kinds of risk with it, even though there isn't. So, and I wouldn't worry about like the lease option thing, really.
Mm,
You don't have to worry about that because it'd just be more for like wholesaling type stuff. Because
okay.
you don't have to put it in you don't have to go through escrow until the very end of the contract with the lease option, escrow
Okay.
or title or any of that stuff. So,
All right.
but yeah, so that's basically what I do. Hey, I got because one of the
Hi, this is Andy. Can I help you?
Andy, did you say?
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, what's up? This is Mark. Yeah, I got a bunch of deals I got going on up that way, and we do a lot of assignment type stuff. Do you guys do those kind of things? Like we're investors?
What do you mean, like, do you want to write a contract and have it be or ask an agent and assign somebody else later?
Exactly.
We could do that. I mean, we would need the contract, and we
Of
would need the
course.
assignment, but all parties are going to be made aware of it.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I have one right now in Phillipsville that I need to do, so I wanted to see
in
if maybe
Phillipsville?
yeah. The
Yeah,
one.
so we have our Fortuna office, Amanda or Stacy down there. They probably handle that for you.
Okay, cool. But you guys can do that kind of thing, and yeah, of course we just let everybody know what's going on, so everyone knows what's going on already, so it's not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. So
Yeah.
all right, awesome. That sounds good. So I will call the Fortuna office and get it all set up.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, boom.
Oh yeah. I guess I wasn't confident enough. The way you're saying that, you sound really confident. I guess I wasn't confident enough. Yeah, maybe I was like fumbling over, tripping over my words.
Yeah.
And or maybe also too, I was asking off like, hey, can I speak to a closing agent? I realized you just told them right away, like, here's what
Right.
I'm
Because
trying
then
to
now,
do.
most of the time, the people that answer the phone are going to have a clue what you're talking about. But then they'll put you in touch with somebody that does, and you're always going to have, I don't know if you guys could hear it in that lady's voice that I talked to. They're always going to be a little apprehensive,
Mm,
of that kind of deal. So what I like to try to do, the same thing that I do with like realtors, is I say like, hey, well, I don't know, I might have said it to her at the beginning, but I say, oh yeah, we got a whole bunch of deals going on, so like we're like, yeah, we're going to bring you a bunch of business, you know what I mean? So
mm.
it's not like you're trying to waste their time. It's like, hey, yeah, we have a deal. I want to get it over to you, and then um, so like I said, I have this deal that I need to do because my regular title person can't do it. So, so you just save me time and I don't have to do that shit later on today.
All right.
So that's good. So now I have a place to bring it. But yeah, so that's it. And yeah, sure, it's about confidence a little bit. You just come in like you know what you're talking about, even when you don't. And then if you make mistakes, you make mistakes, right?
Right, right.
And then you just learn from it. And you know, um, if it was me, I would work a little bit more on. So you're looking at doing buyers. You want to do the buyers first? Is that what you're trying to do? Or
Right, because the last time on some of the calls, Justin was basically saying like you want to start treating it like a business, right? So talk to the buyers first, know what they're
uh
looking for because they're your
right,
customers, which
right,
makes sense to me, right? So like, okay, let me like talk to buyers so I know what the buyers are looking for. Therefore, I can start looking for houses in this particular zip code and start doing that. So my next thing is starting to like pull, maybe go on a pop stream and start pulling lists for like buyers.
uh-huh. So you're talking about. I mean, you really can only do that for like wholesale deals, mostly, I would say.
Right,
Um, because you don't know where your lease options are going to come from necessarily. Um,
right, right.
and the lease option buyer also is a kind of a short-term buyer. So Nick has a really great way of doing it, and there's some videos in the. I'm pretty sure there's some videos in the website on it where. So we're actually going to try to use that same system that he uses. He really cultivates like he was in Houston, and he told me that he had like 200 cash buyers that he got off the prop stream or whatever, wherever he got it. I don't know. And then he went and he called them all, basically, I think. He ended up with about 20 buyers that were like legit, like ready to go
Yeah.
kind of thing, like really found out, called them up and said, hey, what are you looking for if I was to bring you a deal, like, what is it that you would do where you'd be able to close in a week, you know? And then, so then what you're doing is you're really scaling down to your 10 to 20 buyers in the particular market you're working, so that if you look at, so like Houston, for example, I mean, it's a huge city. It's like one of the biggest cities in the country. So you're going to have a lot of deals where you can then once you get your buyers, let me back up. Once you get your buyers kind of set up, and he said it took about a month to do. So where he would just, call 5 to 10 or however many he did per day, um, talking to them, and then put the ones that were legit and ready to go into his list. And then after that, what he would do is he would go around and look for other investors who had properties, and see if they wanted to JV, because he already had he would look for those other investors that had places that met the criteria of his buyers. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I didn't even think about
So
that.
yeah, so that, I think that's a great way to go. We actually want to do that in Sacramento, and we're going to do that in the Central Valley. That's our kind of our next Central Valley of California, our next thing. We're just going to start working, bit by bit by bit on that, because there is a lot of opportunity, in those areas, and you get your 20 guys or whatever throughout that whole set, and then it's pretty easy, because then you find the JV deals, and you're going to get a lot of shitty JV deals. And you can still, do your scrapes and stuff looking for wholesale deals also, um, and then have it be set up so that, boom, you can turn around. You get you get a JV deal done, or you get a deal on your own done, and then you just go right to those buyers that are going to buy, and you just keep in contact with them, talk to them, text them every month. Hey, man, just check it in, blah blah blah. What a huge thing about it is, two things I think that are huge about the buyers is, you're cultivating a relationship. So you should do, just keep in touch, right? So I have this one guy that he's an investor here in California. This guy does a lot of deals, and I haven't even done a deal with him yet, but he constantly texts me, like probably every couple weeks. Hey, what's going on, man? I just want to, I'm just looking to see what you might be looking for. Um, and trying to figure out how I might be able to, cultivate a better relationship so we can do some deals together, So, and like I said, I haven't even done a deal with the guy, but he's still following up with me, because he knows when we first talked to, he knows that I've been doing this for a long time, and I have, relationships, and I do have a lot of connections in California. I just don't do very many deals in California anymore. So, but I think that's kind of starting to turn a little bit too. I feel like I'm gonna start doing a few more around here, because it's still a crazy market. I mean, the guy, just to give you an example, the guy just did a deal here in my town, Petaluma. I don't know what he got it for, but I mean, it's a typical 4 bedroom, 2 bath house. I think it's about maybe 2,000 square feet. um, he put it up. He also does fix and flips too. So he's a wholesaler, and he does fix and flips, a couple of fix and flips a year. And he did, I don't know what he made on it, but I'm thinking he made like 300,000 on the deal. So the property, he bought it for like 1 million, right around 1 million, sold it for like 1.3. It was a fixer. I think it probably needed 60, $70,000 worth of work, you know. But that's California, right? So
Right, right.
but he does stuff all over the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So all his stuff is kind of higher end. stuff, you know. But my point is that he is still, you know. And then he sent me a text and said, "Hey, check this out. This is the deal I just did, you know. So I know you live in Petaluma. If you come across anything else in Petaluma, let me know. You know, I can
Right.
make it happen." So, um, cultivating those deals I mean, the buyers are huge, and then just keeping those relationships. And then the other part too, which is really big, I think. Joe McCall talks a lot about this, and it's hard to do, but just answering your phone. You know, if a buyer comes back, or a buyer, say you leave a message or a text, you text somebody or whatever, and they call you back. You know, just answering the phone. He talks a lot about how a lot of his buyers only really want to work with him because he's the only one that answers his phone when they call. You know, other investors don't even answer the phone. So I think that's kind of a huge thing to try to do. And I know it's hard to do too, especially if, you know, you're trying to live a regular life too. You know, you can't always answer the phone, but either answer the phone and get back to them right away too, right? So,
Right. Right.
um, but yeah, I would just go. What market are you looking in? Where are you looking?
Right now, I'm looking at Jersey. I've did the list source hack, so I looked at all the hottest like zip codes, and it was Passaic County, and then I narrowed it down for Passaic County. I clicked on Passaic County, then I went to PropStream, and I looked at where like all the areas like in Passaic County, which had all the I'm sorry, one sec. All the areas in Passaic County that were selling like zip code wise, and it was Paterson, New Jersey. Like on average last year, it was around 600 or something like that. Yeah, like sales or houses sold in the last year in that particular like in Paterson, New Jersey. But this is ugly houses, right? This is like strictly wholesaling. This is not lease option. This is not pretty house stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, we have some people from New Jersey, and they can maybe tell you their experience about New Jersey. New Jersey is a pretty tough market. Would you say that, Alan, or not?
Sorry, the audio got choppy on
Uh-oh.
my end. What was that?
Did I lose you? Hold on. I gotta switch. I'm gonna have to switch out here. Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. My internet took a dump on me. Here. Sorry about that. My
You were
internet
saying,
took.
sorry, the audio got chopped up.
Yeah. Hold on. Give me one sec. Oh shit. All right. There we go. Now I'm back. I was just saying your experience in New Jersey.
Yeah, I think as long as you're persistent and you know your marketing is super consistent, you'll be able to land something. To what you were saying, there, I do agree. There is like people that constantly keep in touch with me, and I keep in touch with them almost every 2 weeks and every month. And they're like asking me, "Hey, do you have anything in the pipeline? I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something." And you know, I'm like, "Well, what's your criteria?" And then they tell me right away. I'm like, "You know, what's your criteria in this market?" And you know, they're still at 70% ARV minus repairs. So I'm like, okay, it's good to know that this guy is still fishing, and that's his criteria still, despite what I'm seeing around. So yeah, I mean, there's active players certainly, and um, it's a higher mountain to climb, but I guess it's not impossible.
Right.
But yeah,
Uh,
what part of New Jersey are you in? Who was it?
Henry.
Henry. Yeah, currently I'm in Bergenfield, New Jersey, right? But like the market in Bergenfield, New Jersey is just really expensive. So I'm not looking to do anything, well, besides a lease option, right? Paterson, New Jersey, I kind of know the area a little bit. So I'm thinking of like wholesaling in that particular market.
Okay. Well, we can link up because I'm also in Bergen County. So yeah, man,
Oh,
just
okay, perfect.
link up, you know.
If I could add something to that, Mark,
Yes, sir.
and Henry, I mean, just take this for what it's worth, man. I just started this a couple of weeks ago, right? And really
Yeah.
just really started being active this week. But I did the hottest zip codes too. But instead of going to the top 5, I went in like the top 20 and top 25. I'm in Houston, so there's a shit ton of zip codes here, and there's a
Right.
whole bunch of hot zip codes. But of course, they go in descending order, right?
Mm.
So rather than doing the top 5, what I did was I chose like the top 20, the 21st of the hottest zip codes. And that way, like I'm able to try out, like I do door knocking. So I'm able to try out different things that I'm trying to do and see what works. It's kind of like a comic that goes to little clubs and tries out material before he goes like on a big stage. That's what I'm doing right now. So I don't know if that's, that's something that makes sense to you to do, but I'd rather get the kinks and the bugs out of what I'm trying to do. I'd rather get it into a market that's still good, but not the hottest of the hot markets where I'm
Thanks,
at.
man.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it
What?
does. It does.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Henry.
No, I'm just saying it does. What he's saying, what Gent was saying, it does make sense. Yeah.
Jet, tell me. I'd love to know. I just got to tell you, you have a lot bigger balls than I do because I would not go and do door knocking. I'm scared to shit to do that. So,
The funny thing is, I hate phone calls.
yeah.
So I would still be sitting on my ass right now if it came to phone calls. I'd rather just go out there and door knock. Now, I had a challenging day yesterday, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like everything that went wrong, Murphy's Law, everything that went wrong, and I didn't even know if I was gonna share it because I know this stuff is on YouTube. So I just thought I don't want to live forever on YouTube. So I kind of
Yeah.
But Justin talked about us how to kind of tell you're going in the right path because the universe or God or whatever kind of throws things at you.
Right.
To challenge you. Brother, I had a challenging day yesterday, man.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I'm telling you, I know I've had a challenging last 4 or 5 months, most challenging time in my life, So it's like, but I do believe that what you're saying and what he's saying is totally true because what that does is it opens yourself up for good stuff to come in. So like if you can look at it differently instead of saying, "Oh, I had a challenging day, I got yelled at, a bunch of times." And then last week too, guy that called me a shitbird, he freaking texted me like 3 or 4 times after that. You better not fucking call me again, and like all this stuff. I'm like, dude, really? And because I watched that video that Justin sent, all I asked the guy was, "Hey, how long are you living there? What's got you selling?" He just freaking went off on me. So,
that's another thing too. It's like internet courage too. So you wondering how I can knock on doors? Because people don't act like that. Most people don't act like that to you when you face to face with them, right? They'll do that on the phone. They'll do it on the internet, but they won't do that. As long as you're presentable and you come with them respectfully, you're at their house. So if you're doing something that they don't want you to do, you need to leave. That's not the place to get in any kind of arguments with anybody. But more often than not, man, when you're seeing people face to face and you're getting belly to belly with them, they talk to you with respect. Even the ones that might be angry, they're not just gonna pop off and just go crazy. And I mean, if it happens, it happens. You're on their property, so you need to leave. But I like doing that because people more often than not, they speak to you respectfully.
That makes sense, So can you tell me how you would what would be your how would your elevator speech, I guess you could say, when you're knocking on the door?
Yeah, so like I was saying yesterday, so I got this from Ace last week. He was asking me, what my marketing plan was. Like I just started last week, so he was asking me Friday what my plan was, and I told him what my plan was. And he said, for your type of market, it's just not gonna work. So he told me to knock doors. So I was like, okay, I'll knock the doors. And he told me come from the standpoint of you just working for your boss. Your boss told you to come over here.
Yeah,
So the onus isn't on you anymore, it's on your boss.
totally.
So it works perfectly because you can play dumb. And right now I am, I'm ignorant about a lot of things. I got some. Okay, I'm ignorant about a lot of things that need to go on. So it's fine to play dumb, and people a lot of times they'll just help you. So I just simply knock on the door, and I say, "Hi, my name is Gent. Sorry to bother you. My boss told me to come over here to ask you a question. I know it's kind of out the blue, but are you looking to sell your house? Do you want to sell your house?"
Dude, that's awesome.
And it was easy. And I've gotten some good responses. One is that challenging that challenging issue that happened yesterday. But I've gotten a couple of good responses. But say I do 20, 25 in a day. I think the first time I did it, I did 22 people. I got 12 people to respond back to me, and one wanted me to follow up with them. Yesterday, I did about 17. I didn't get the count, but it was like half of the people responded back to me. I was getting callbacks because I leave notes as well. I'm kind of cleaning up my notes because I really don't like the message I was leaving on the notes. I just want to be straight up with people. So
Yeah.
I don't want to have any deception. If you want, you're not going to fool somebody into magically selling you their house. It's not going to happen. So either people are going to respond to what you're offering them, or they're not. You're not going to con somebody into selling your house. So
Right. And you don't want to
What kind of
either,
list are you doing?
say again.
What kind of list are you doing? When you
So
knock on the
right-
doors, what-
Sure. So right now, I'm looking at expireds. I look at liens, and I look at vacants. So, but the thing is, they're all consolidated in that one zip code. I'm doing all my testing in that one zip code, and then if I can master my strategies, like I'm making all kind of mistakes right now, but it's okay to do it in that one place. And then once I start perfecting what I'm doing, then I can start branching out and looking at other zip codes, other areas.
Totally. And if you do like what, one thing about Ace, which is freaking awesome, he's mastered his market, you know? Like he's really good at that. That's and he's a great person to follow if you're in a market that's close to where you live because, all the stuff that he does, like the stickers, at the gas
Yeah.
pumps and, all that stuff is like,
Yeah,
man, it's gold.
you can really saturate your market. But right now
Yeah.
I'm focusing on one thing. Yeah, the stickers all on the gas station, the ATM. You can go crazy with it.
Right.
But right now I just want to focus on like knocking doors. And that's why I don't know if you saw that note I put on Facebook. I was like, shout out to the jeans and jacket crew. Because I wear a jacket and I have my jeans and my tennis shoes. I have a presentable appearance, when I go up there. So I enjoyed knocking on doors a lot more than making phone calls, man.
Well, that's good,
Yeah.
man. That's it. And you got to do what makes you feel good too, right?
Mhm.
And that's part of the thing with the phone calls. I think we could all admit that, you know, and I can even say just like I don't know if it was a week or two ago, I had taken like 3 or 4 days off from making phone calls, and I'm like, well, shit, man, I don't want to call anybody today, you know. I don't want to. It's like I know how to do it, and I've been doing it for freaking ever, and I still go through that time where it's like, okay, I can do this, and I'm sure you have that same feeling. So it would be the same feeling probably right before you walk up to the door to knock on it. You have that little butterfly thing in your stomach a little bit, maybe. Um, it's the same way with calls too, man. But I admire you for doing that, dude. That is top notch stuff right there. So by you doing that stuff, I know a guy that did that. Who was it that did that? Oh, I think it was Gavin Timms. I don't know if you know who he is. Him and Joe McCall are partners, and I think he did the exact same thing when he was from England. He came over here and he started knocking on doors right off the bat, and then now he's like a big time coach and wholesaler and all that stuff. So, and just every day that you do something like that, you're going to get like this is one of the things I work on in a lot of things. I always try to get 1% better per day. Like not worry about trying to get 50% better. If you get 1% better, so say you get 1% better today at knocking at doors than you were yesterday, how much better are you going to be in a year? 350% better, right? Like if you just got 1% better than the day before. So, write down like write down after your day's over, like what are you I don't like to say what I did bad and what I did good, but it's like what I did well and what I could have done better, you know? And then that gives you a perspective going forward. Okay, well, if I could have done that better and that's it, because you're gonna have basically when you talk to people, whether it's on the phone or door knocking, you're going to see a pattern that's going to be pretty much the same. Everything's going to, I mean, everyone's going to have a different situation, but as time goes on, they're all going to be kind of the same, you know? And then you'll be able to pull off of what it is that when you remember, oh yeah, I had that experience with that person similar to this one, and then you know how to react to it, you know? So, or respond. I want to say respond because it's better to respond than to react. So, like the shitbird guy, I could have reacted to him and said, "Hey, fuck you," or whatever, and I said, "Hey, I don't think this is going to be a good fit," you know. So, and one of the really great things to do that I really like from the Chris Voss book, Never Split the Difference. You can use this in your life all day long. Is the mirror technique. So basically, when you're talking to somebody at the door, or on the phone, or in a confrontation, perhaps, this is a really great way to respond instead of react. So you just say the last three words that they said. So tell me something. Say anything. Jet, say anything. Or Ed, say something.
Went to
Yeah,
the park
yeah,
yesterday.
that's not enough money. You got to give us. We need cash.
So you need cash?
I do.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So see what I did? I said his last three words. It gave me time. So like I said, he said, I need cash. Those are three words. All right. I said, so you need cash. All right. So now what I've done is I've created a time for me to respond and think about what it was I was going to say. Right. Asking him the question. And the other thing about that too, what happens is when you do that, um, the person you're talking to knows that you heard what they said, right?
Yeah,
So
you're
it gives them,
confirming it.
you're confirming it, and you're giving them the validation of whatever it was that they told you. So it's such a brilliant little technique because it helps you. Not only does it give you, that, but then now it gives you the time to think about how you want to respond, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, but
Hey,
yeah, dude,
gent.
Sir.
Hey, knocking on the doors. I've got a little experience in that arena, and when you're knocking on that door, they don't know you from Adam when they're coming to the door, and so you've got to have something to get their attention as soon as they want to know who you are. So you gotta like you say, introduce yourself real quick, and what you're doing there, and really you're like a godsend, just so gent, because you're like an angel just dropped on their doorstep because you have an opportunity to help them. And that's really just asking them a question is, would you like to sell your home? My boss is interested in buying it. So you got to walk up there like your pockets are loaded with cash. And you're just going to see if there's any interest there, and you're going to get the ball rolling by just starting the conversation. And so, hey, I just wanted to touch base with you. I just wanted to swing by and say, we'd like your home, and we'd like to buy it. If there's any interest of you selling it, would that be something you'd like to do today? I mean, just get it out on the table. And then that just gets the conversation going, because now they're feeling pretty good. They're sitting in a house that someone's interested in. So tell me what you're thinking.
And there's
And
only going to be
yeah,
three responses, right? You really only get three responses:
Exactly.
yes, no, or maybe,
Yep.
right?
yeah,
Maybe is the
yeah,
word.
So, yeah.
yeah.
And
And,
so you,
and if they don't want, do you know anyone else that would be interested in selling it? We're
yeah.
buying homes in the neighborhood. Do you know any of the neighbors? So, it's called the old crisscross. The house you're standing at,
Yeah.
two to the left, two to the right, and then the five across the street. And that's you want to hit all those homes.
Yeah, that
Hopefully by
happened
saying that you
Tuesday.
just met Mr. Adams.
That happened Tuesday. Matter of fact, I just got a call back before I got on Zoom. A guy I left a note by Tuesday. The guy at the house I went to, he said he wasn't interested. He said he didn't have any more houses that he wanted to sell, but he referred me to his neighbor across the street. He said that she just went into the hospital. Her son just called me like 30 minutes before I got on the Zoom. And I answered it. You're right. If your phone is ringing, it's ringing for a reason, because if they didn't care about you at all, they would have never called in the first place. So I answered it and spoke to the guy, but it didn't seem like it looked like a retail deal. It really didn't seem like any kind of deal. Didn't look like he was interested in any kind of creative finance or anything. So I thanked him for his time, and I told him I'd look into it, and if it was something I was interested in, I'd give him a call back. Or my boss would, rather. So
Hey, remember, like that guy too is Justin talks about the B leads, right? So things change with time and circumstance, right?
mhm.
So, follow up in 30 days. Hey, just we talked a couple weeks ago, just wanted to see if anything's changed and check in and make sure you're all right, and see if you maybe you might be interested in selling, or you're thinking about it, or even if you know of anybody else who all of a sudden decided they wanted to sell, right? Like then you got that follow up. The follow up is huge, man, because that's where 80% of your deals are going to come, or follow up. So, and it's interesting too, like if you get somebody who is a maybe or a maybe no kind of person, right? Um, if you take the time to just send them a personal note, you know, just say, hey, yeah, it was really great talking with you. Um, Especially people that are in the older demographic, the people that used to get letters, that's how they used to communicate all the time, or a lot, a lot. It's amazing. Just to give you an example, I've sent out like a bunch of postcards and stuff over the years, right? I haven't done it in a couple of years, but I still get calls um, from people who I sent postcards to from like 4 years ago. So, and having that personal, just that little personal interaction with a letter. It's just like anything. Like, if you got a letter from, let's just say I wrote you a letter, Jet. I said, hey, dude, it was really great you were on the call today, man. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for being on the call, right? I mean, you're gonna remember that, right? Give me your address, I'll send you a letter. So those little personal things, and how much time does that take, right? See, the thing of it is, it doesn't take much time. But if you get a letter from somebody, what they're thinking is this person took the time to write a letter. They got an envelope, they put it in an envelope, they got a stamp, and then they brought it down to the post office and they sent it to me, right? Like that is being that kind of goes above and beyond, you know, and it doesn't take that much time, So, you don't do it with everybody, but you do it with the people that you felt a connection with, maybe when you're when you're knocking on doors and stuff like that, even if it's a no, it's still, those are the things about realizing that. I think one of the big things that we all do is, and I do it too in this business, is that we want everything to happen like right now, right? Like we want it to happen. We want to get a deal under contract and we want to sell that fucker right now. And we want to get the check in the bank, you know. But if you're doing all those little things and, you know, Ace is like perfect at that stuff, a lot of that stuff. What it does, like if you just think of it this way, whatever you do today is going to come to fruition in 90 days from now, you know? So whatever marketing you're doing, whatever thing, if you stay consistent, those things are going to roll back around in 90 days, you know? So if you look forward 90 days and you know, the things, those follow-ups, those deals, you know, I had a deal in North Carolina. We agreed on the contract or agreed on the terms and conditions, but they couldn't get out. Couldn't get there. They had their grandfather who was a total dick that lived in the house, and they had to evict him. So that deal took 90 days before we got it closed. I mean, before we got the people out and we were able to get people in to see it. So, you know, but I was always calling them, hey, how's it going? You know, what's going on? How's your, you know, are you guys able to do that? Is there anything else I can help you out with? You know, that kind of stuff. So, um, but yeah, that's all those little things make a huge difference, you know? So, let's see what else. Has anybody got anything else? Anything to add to that, or any experiences with that, or
Hey, how often are you following up with your B leads?
it kind of depends. So, like, I probably follow up with um every couple weeks, probably. Try to do it every couple weeks, at least once a month.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, does your REI reply offer you, you know, something automated where you can tag
Yes,
that and they do? Okay.
it does, but there's, you know, REI reply, I'll show you what I do. It's really, really quick. So on, can you guys see this?
Yep.
So like, let's just pretend that I'm gonna go to here. So if I had talked to this person, what I can do is I can go down. I have another, and you can set this up any way you want. But
Mm-hmm.
you can, so where it says add campaigns workflow. So I have one that's a 2 week follow up.
Okay.
Okay. And basically what it does is it after 2 weeks, it basically just says, and you can set it up to do it multiple touches, but on that one, all I do is it says, hey, this is Mark. We talked about your property a couple weeks back. I just wanted to see, you know, if it's either still for sale or if anything has changed for you, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it says.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go through, you know, and it's going to be a B lead that is probably, I would say it's a lower end B lead, you know, I would do the 2 week follow up. So it would be somebody that I said that, or who I talked to that said, you know, I mean, it kind of sounds like a good idea, but I really just need to get cash. You know, I don't think I could do that right now. You know, maybe give me a call back in a couple of weeks and let's see what happens, see where we're at, right? Then I would do the 2 week follow up, and then I also there's another one in there that there's a 30-day follow up to that'll do multiple. So that would be like a lower end B lead. You know, maybe somebody who had their house overpriced. You know, was really holding out for
That's a
cash.
key one right there. You know, a guy that's got his house, you know, 30, 50,000 over,
Right.
you know, that's something to circle back to.
Yeah. So, and then you circle back in 30 days because if they sold it, or if they, you know, if it's still for sale after 30 days and the price is too high, then, you know, all of a sudden they get a text from you, and you can do ringless voicemail and this stuff, but it depends on where you're at and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's really the only follow up type deal, you know. And I think the one thing which I haven't figured out yet, I want to be able to have some sort of notification through this too. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. In case I wanted to call somebody. So let's just say I wanted to call somebody in 2 weeks. You know, there isn't like a, or at least I haven't figured it out. I don't know that there is or there isn't. There isn't a way to, you know, notify you, hey, you need to call this person, you know. So what I do now basically is if it's, let's just say um, this person who I have here,
There's no calendar in there?
there is a calendar, but it just, I haven't figured out how to, it's supposed to connect with your Google Calendar, but it doesn't, I haven't
Okay.
figured out how to make it work. So
Gotcha.
I can do what LaShonda does is she'll set her stuff up like this. So you guys can still see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
what she'll do is she goes and she'll put her regular Gmail calendar right next to it. Okay. And then whoops, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, that's my Gmail.
Google Calendar.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Yeah.
So
Right.
okay, and then what she'll do is she will
Mm-hmm.
have it right next to it. Then she'll do the call or whatever. And then if it's going to be a follow up, then she'll just add it to the day, you know, or
Gotcha.
whatever, you know.
Right.
So
Yep.
which works, but it would be nice if it was all in one place, you know.
Yeah, I would think there's got to be a way to, tag
Yeah,
that to
I mean,
a
I have my calendar
calendar.
connected to this, but you know, it's like you don't really. They do have a task thing, but basically what happens with the task thing is that it doesn't tell you what to do. It doesn't give you a notification, but it does come up on the it comes up on the homepage or whatever. But you have to like
Right.
scroll down to it to look at it, you know? So I
Doesn't
mean if
offer you like a
I
calendar option to when you hit the
yeah, there is a
task.
calendar. There is a calendar. You can connect, and I have connected to it, and I've watched the videos, and you know,
Right.
it's
Right. Via the
still
task.
yeah. So the task doesn't
Right.
go into the calendar; it just goes
Okay.
into the. Let me see where that is. Let's close this out. It just goes into the front page. So let me just a sec here. I really go back and forth with it because it's
It's a
it is
love-hate relationship
great.
there
It
for you,
is
huh?
such a love-hate relationship. So see, you have to like go down here. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but you have to go down here to the tasks, you know, and whatever pending you had, or you know, so like, oh, you'll see some of my tasks, right? Send offer. I mean, it's not that hard to do, but it's just one more step. And usually, what I'm doing is I'm just going directly into making calls or texting or whatever. So, I mean, the text feature and the call features on it are freaking awesome, you know, because it does multiple texts. So like I'll show you, I don't know if I've shown you guys this before, but just to give you an idea of how the campaigns work, they're Georgia 150. So this is what happens the very first day. It sends this text out. Hey Mark, hey Mark here. I saw your place on Zillow. Blah blah blah. If I was to offer you full asking price, you wouldn't be open to something creative for 18 to 24 months, would you? I have money down. So that's the first one that goes out. Okay. If they don't reply, this is the second one that goes out the next day. Hey, just checking in again. Blah blah blah. Would you like to have a conversation? My son and I are looking for a place just like this. Are you flexible on price or terms? Boom. Okay. Then day 10, this next one comes out. I know you've been busy, and then in one right after it comes. So you can set this up any way you want to have it go 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, whatever. And you can do, if you want, you can do a ringless voicemail. So, I mean, it all depends on where you're at as far as, I know you can't do it in Florida. I'm sure there's probably some other states too. I don't know if anybody knows, but But so that's kind of a cool feature. And then so the way I have it set up is when people call me or text me or whatever. So I have this backwards. It's supposed to reply is supposed to be here and A leads are supposed to be here. But so when somebody replies to me, it will come into this part right here. So this person replied. I'll look at what they said. And there's supposed to be some way that you can get like all the solds out. Okay, so this one. Good morning and thanks for showing interest in the home. Has been secured by another applicant. I have another home if you'd like to see it. So I can, if I want to, I can send them a text or I can just call them. Should I just call them right now and see what happens? What do you guys think?
Yes,
Let's give them a call.
come on.
Well, probably I can tell it's a voicemail. I'll just leave them.
Sorry, the person you are calling is not available. Please leave a message.
Oh, hey, it's Mark giving you a call about the house for sale on Zillow. I have cash and I can close today. Give me a call back at this number, would you? Thank you. Okay, so if I did that, then I would go back to the pipeline. That was a voicemail, right? So then I just, this is kind of similar to the Trello board. And then I just move this over to the voicemail. Look how many freaking voicemails I've left. 27, right?
Where's
And then
that?
I can, huh?
Where do you see that?
Over here, the voicemails. Can you see that?
Okay. B
Yeah, so
leads.
no, the voicemails,
Oh, I got you the 20 on top.
28 leads, voicemails. So these are all voicemails that I've left. Actually, this guy's a lead right here. So, and you know, so there's different little quirks about it that I don't like too. So like if I want to, you know, like if I, so this one's on top now, I have to leave it on top. So I have to go back to here. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to maneuver around a little bit. But
Because that was the
anyways,
last one you called. It leaves it
that's
at
the
the
last
top.
one I called. So, you know, if I want to keep going down, when if you start from the bottom and you come up, it's gonna, when you get back to it, it comes to the top, you know? So maybe there's a way I can, I just made an offer to this guy yesterday. So, oh yeah, I had one, I talked to this guy one the other day. We made an offer and this other guy one called me and I thought it was the first one. And I said, did you get the offer? You know, what did you guys think? He's all, oh, I didn't get the offer. And well, and their voices sound exactly the same. So now I have one, and one, two. So
He's one in a million.
yeah. So I mean, there's, I wish, I want to just take the time. I wish I could just take like 2 days to just, well, I wish there was a way that somebody could insert a thumb drive into my head to exactly the way the whole thing works because LaShonda uses it totally different. So she uses it where she does what's called smart lists. So I don't. She had a video on it. I want to see if I can get her on here to show us because it is a really cool way to do it. But you know, it's I don't think it's the same way as having it as like a CRM. It's more of just for calling. So I have GA1. Okay, so this is the last Georgia scrape I did. So I can do
So
all of
do you have the other REI do the scrape and then you bring the list
yes.
over here?
Yeah, yeah. So it just has to be a CVS deal.
Right.
So
Okay.
she has this thing and she can break it down into filters. So you can add like I don't even know. But she's got some way where all those you know, where I had replied A lead, B lead, voicemail, it comes up here somehow. So she had the video on there, and it was like, and then all of a sudden YouTube like blocked her. So she didn't. She couldn't get me the video, but I want to see if I can maybe get her on one Thursday if possible. I know she works, but that would be cool to just see how she does it too. And then you can do like a lot of tags. Like tags are really good. Like I have this one. I've been doing the like if somebody if it's a really good reply, you know, I'll just write good on it. And so you can do a tag like that. And then it'll just bring up all the goods. See all the goods I got right there?
Okay.
So then now I could just call all the goods, you know, um, which is kind of nice. So you can, if you're good with tags, you can easily do, put your stuff into a smaller scale, But I mean, out of that 200, that message I use has worked really well. I get a lot of good responses overall. Like I don't know how many, but
What was that message, Mark?
it is. Let's see. Um, I can't remember exactly what it is. I think I'm going to add something else to it. So that's my second one. The first one is, "Hey, Mark here. I saw your place on Zillow at 123 Towering Pines. Um, if I was to offer you full asking price, you wouldn't be open to something creative for 18 to 24 months, would you? I have money down. Let's talk." So it's been a really good message. I like it a lot. I haven't really changed it up. I think what I'm going to do, one of the things I'm going to do too, which I used to do this all the time when I used to do Craigslist emails, I would say, "Hey, Mark here. This is just our deal. My son and I are looking for a place like this, for
Mhm.
investment or something like that." And you guys can use whatever. I know, like Mag uses, he'll say, "My wife and I are looking for," or whatever, "my partner and I," or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of that's how that sort of works. So, uh,
Thank you.
Vernon, have you been having luck with it? I don't know if you're able to talk or not.
Uh, as far as getting lease
REI
options,
reply. REI reply.
RER plus, oh man, that learning curve is too high for me, man.
I think it's too high for me too, but I keep sticking with it. Every single day I say I'm going to get rid of it. So I have it to where I can at least use it. And one of the things I would really like to do, like I've been thinking about going back to Freedom Soft, because only the main reason is because I want to be able to have control of when I send out texts and how many I send out,
Mhm.
you know, with
Mhm.
and there may be a way to do that with the REI reply, but I like the ability to go, you know what, I'm just going to send out 50 texts right now. And then I can sit there and reply to them right then and there. You know, the way I set up the REI reply is they go out every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, and so if something comes up and I can't be at my computer at 8 o'clock, which happens all the time, um, then I'm trying to catch up, or if I miss a day, now I've got, because I usually do like 75 to 100 at a time.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I'm getting 70%, 65 to 70% replies. All of them aren't good, of course, but you still got to go through them and figure out which ones are good and which ones aren't, so it
You're
takes
doing
a little.
all Zillow, right?
All Zillow, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
um, we'll see how that goes. Has anybody else got any questions? Jen, you got anything else? Very
Just
impressed
one
with,
more,
yeah,
just one more thing. I still have not done a lease option off of Zillow yet.
really?
I still haven't done that yet.
Yeah. They're out there. I think it's starting to happen. I'm seeing, you know what I've really found out? My thing, my little uh, observation is that it works a lot better with the medium to lower price houses. Even though you want to do pretty houses, I've found that I've gotten like 3 deals under contract in the last couple weeks, and it's like 100 to 175,000, you know,
And
about.
you don't have no problem finding the tenant buyers, right?
Well, we always have troubles with that. It's not troubles, I don't want to say. I just gotta have to get better at it. My ultimate vision and goal for my life is to have somebody deal with that part of it for me, you know,
Are you
because
able to find people with money?
yeah, like I have one right now. It's only like a $70,000 house. It needs work. Um, we got they wanted 10% down, and I got her down to 3,000 option money. And I had somebody yesterday that called me and said they have eight. You know, so there's a lot of people that are saying, "Well, I only have 1 month's rent," and it's out in the boonies in Georgia. So you're gonna have you know stuff that is going to be there's not a lot of money there, so in those areas. But then you just find the right person. Sometimes it's luck, I think. That North Carolina deal that I did, that took me 90 days. The first person that looked at that place bought it, and she had like 13 grand down. So, you know, pretty rare that the very first person that looks at it ends up buying it. What you got, Alan?
Hey man, I just wanted to know because I had one expired on me like yesterday, and the dude's like, "Well, can you give me the deposit and then we'll extend?" Like, how do you handle sellers that are like wanting the consideration up front instead of waiting for the start of the term, let's say October 1st or November 1st?
I just tell them we don't do that, And one of the things I put in my agreement too. So instead of doing like an inspection period or a cancellation period, what I do is I put in my agreement that I just added this. So it's let's say it's a month out. So what's the date today? The 15th. So let's say it's October 15th. If the option consideration is not received by October 15th, this contract is null and void unless tenant buyer and landlord approve or tenant buyer and landlord um, agree upon an extension.
Gotcha.
So that way, it's kind of a way. It's your out for one, because if you don't come up with the money in a month, then the contract's null and void. And then the second part is that okay, well, at that time we can negotiate further. Agree upon an extension, and the extension could be anything. Any way that you wanted to do it. So, um,
Thanks for sharing, bro. And
yeah, man,
I'm
for
trying
sure,
to
dude.
I'm trying to overcome this weird ass problem I have where I can't boost the darn listing. So that might be another
Yeah, I
issue.
tried to talk to Connor about that too, and he couldn't figure it out either. I don't know what the deal is. Not sure. Let's talk after. I wanna look at what you got going on and see what's up. What's up, Alex? You
Hey,
got, buddy?
what's the medium, like the minimum and max price point you scrape for?
So I do usually what I do is I'll do 75 to like 175. So I'll do like
Okay.
three separate scrapes. Then I'll do 175, $1 to 275, $1 or 275. And then sometimes I'll go from 275 to 375. It depends on where I'm doing it, you know. But about 375. Right on, Vernon. Great to see you, dude. As always, you're looking good, buddy. um, 400 and under. is probably about as high I want to go, especially in all the southern states, where we work mostly. So, when you're talking 400,000, that's like a pretty big, expensive house for those areas. Like here, you get there's a house right down the street from me that's a 1-bedroom house. It's 575 square feet. It does have a garage. It's a 1-bedroom, and it's for sale for 480. That's Sonoma County, California, baby. So, and they'll probably get over asking, which is crazy. So, all right. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything else? We've been on about a little over an hour here. I think it's been a pretty good call. I appreciate you guys all coming on. It's always great to see your faces. I wanted to shout out to. Oh, she left already. Yeah. Anybody else got anything else? Any other questions? All right. Well, let's kick it off. You guys go have a kick-ass weekend and make some money. Let's have some fun. And Alan, yeah, let's hook up. All right.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
All right. See you all.
All right.
Thanks,